Hello and welcome to Embrace Behavior Change. This is the place where you can learn to parent with a greater sense of ease and to nurture a family with special needs. My name is Sharoya Ham and I am a behavior change specialist and a parent coach. I am here today to talk to you about a fascinating book which I recently learned of, but it's been out for quite some time, and it's called Far from the Tree by Andrew Solomon. It is an excellent book. It speaks to me in so many different ways. So today I just wanted to share with you. This author Andrew Solomon, decided to follow 250 families over the course of 10 years to compile this fascinating book, which is basically talking about what happens to families when a child is profoundly different from the parent. So you know the expression, an apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but sometimes it does. So he looks at situations where the child has dwarfism, autism, has committed a heinous crime, and let's see what else. Oh, a child conceived in rape. And he looks at these families to see how they deal with this and how they come to grips with these circumstances. I wanted to just bring out 2 points about the book that I really love, in hopes that you will be pricked, your interest will be pricked, and you will check out the videos that are on YouTube about this book. Perhaps download the movie that's available by the same title, Far from the Tree, or to invest in the book. It's 1,000 pages. I'm going to give you a warning. I happen to listen to it as an audio book. But what I love about it is each chapter, contains one family. So you don't have to go and read the book from cover to cover. Whatever interests you, you can just start with that family. So here are my main 2 points. Number 1 is what I learned from this book is that the depth of unconditional love is infinite. There's no way we can reach it as human beings, but we can go deeper and deeper into that place as long as we're willing to accept people for who they are. These families had to deal with having a child who didn't meet up to what their expectations were. It's just simple as that. And I can even relate on that scale. We all have kids and we thought they were going to do this or they were going to be this, and it turns out they don't. But these families had to, of course, go through a much greater form of acceptance and a longer journey to understand the differences that their child has. Each story talks about the raw emotions where parents go from fear, how do I handle this child? I've never seen this condition before. I don't understand it, nor do I even want it. How does that parent go from those emotions and it goes and evolves to faith? Really, that's what I found out. There comes a place where these parents learn to accept the situation, accept their child for who they are. I want to back up for a moment so you can maybe get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. And I want to ask you a few questions. Number 1, what would you do if your child was born deaf? Would you try to get some intervention so they can hear? Or would you just accept that that's a condition that's a part of their identity? Well, now let me flip the question. In case you're a hearing person and not a deaf parent, I want you to pretend for a minute that you are deaf and that you have a child who's hearing. What do you do? Would you want your child to have a surgery so that they can become deaf? Or would you just accept the fact that they are a hearing person? That's what I love about this book. I never thought about that before, and I don't know if you have. But this book will make you challenge how you look at people with differences. How do you respond? And so that's my second point, that this book brought me to a place where I had to think, when I engage with people who are different from me, am I there trying to figure out how I can cure them or fix them, or how they should be cured, how they should be fixed? Or am I perhaps trying to figure out how I can escape from them and never be around them again because it makes me uncomfortable? Or have I even entertained the thought that, what can science do to arrange their genotype such that this doesn't happen again? That a child is not born with cerebral palsy, or a child is not does not have Down syndrome or dwarfism. And one of the videos or trailers about the movie really struck me. There's a woman who has dwarfism, and she said that she really resents the fact that science is trying to find a solution to her dwarfism, such that she can't imagine, what people are saying. Are they saying that her life is not valuable, not worth living, if she has to be a dwarf? And it just made me stop in the midst of my thinking and to ponder that. What are we saying? Should we get rid of people? Should we, abort? Should we send them to institutions? Should we put them up for adoption if they're different from us? If our children turn out to be different from us, what should we do? Well, this book gives you a peek into all of these different families and their situations. And what I love about it is it does not present you with a solution, but it gives you the many different options or ways people have come to this place of peace. Some people have institutionalized their children. And after you read this book, I think there will be less judgment about it when you read that families are dealing with children who are spreading feces around the wall and self-injurious behavior where they're scratching themselves until they bleed. Who are we to judge? I left this book being challenged as a citizen who the entire, basically, universe is catered to people like me, quote unquote, normal. How do I treat people? How do I treat children with differences? How do I treat their parents? So many of these parents have talked about how they've gone from having social life with their family and their friends to having this child who's different. And all of a sudden, all of that socialization is gone because other people don't know how to deal, don't know how to be in the presence of a child that's different from them. And so they remove the socialization from their families as well. It made me really think, what am I doing? When I see other families who are struggling to meet the challenges of their children, am I helpful? Am I willing to invite them to my house for a party? That's a whole different story. Maybe I'm willing to help, but am I willing to have their child who has behavioral challenges in my home? That asks a lot. But I think after reading this book, there's a level of sensitivity that that will evolve and cause you, hopefully, to behave differently. If you are a parent who is struggling with a child with special needs, and I created Embrace Behavior Change for you to help parents who are overwhelmed trying to address educational and behavioral challenges. I encourage you to go to my Facebook page at Embrace Behavior Change Solutions and send me a message just by clicking on the send message icon. I would love to hear your story, to encourage you. So please, if you have a comment, leave it in the comment section below. Until next time, I want you to remember, in order for something to happen differently, we have to do something different. And so I want to encourage you to embrace behavior change. Until next time.